It's another South African football show, and we're going to be discussing the defensive issues in the Bafana, as well as their inability to put away chances. And we made to do that is Warifa Marcos and Mustafa Jinodu. You're welcome to the show.
Okay, so we know that
Thank you
Bafana
for
is, as far as I'm concerned, they're one of the top four teams in Africa, along with Nigeria, Morocco, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. So top, let's say top five, top six. Um, they're qualified for AFCON very well. They still have to some issues in the balance for qualifying for World Cup, especially since they would lose 3 points due to some technical issues with the game with Lesotho. Nevertheless, they have a big match with Nigeria, which is going to be the clash of titans, which I can't wait. My prediction is that game will most likely be a draw. That's my prediction. But in general, they shouldn't be in that position where it should be close. They should have easily won that group based on their performances. And when we look at South Africa, it's very difficult to beat them, but they're having problems with giving up foolish and silly goals in situations where they're leading, or maybe one or two games in which they lost, which they gave up a goal, which they shouldn't have given up. Not to say they give up a lot of goals, but they give up more than one goal a game, 1.1, 1.2. They score 1.2. So the problem that they have is the same problem they had with Nigeria, where they played to a draw and Nigeria won, in which, number one, in attack, they don't really have a super finisher. They have a great crew of guys, Zwane and Co., who are very good with passing the ball and scoring, but they don't have a pure number nine for when you need those tight games, when you need a lone goal. And they also are susceptible to making mistakes, which can draw them into draws. Whereas it starts off with the central defense. I think that's their problem. No, central CDM and central defense is a weakness for them, as well as the fact that they're still trying to find the right combination of defenders. Drews is still find the balance between older guys who are experienced and younger guys in rotation. So they haven't settled. In the past, they struggled also when Roman Williams was injured, but now that he's back, that shouldn't be a problem. He's one of the world's best goalkeepers. And their defense isn't so bad, but they just need to watch out for giving up goals on the counter. We saw it with Sundown. Sundowns is a good team, but when you play teams like Borussia Dortmund or Fluminense, European teams, they tend to struggle with teams that use their wings very well because South Africa tends to bring its fullbacks forward too. So it's not that their defense is really bad, but that's a part of the defense they have to watch out. They're susceptible to giving up callous or crucial goals. What do you think of Falabi?
Yeah, I quite agree with you. And the problem with that team is that Mamelodi Sundowns contributes the most to the Bafana
Yeah,
team. And if you look at the defense, starting from Rowan Williams, three of the back four, the right back and one center back and the left back are all from Sundowns. So you would expect that they are better organized. But like you rightly mentioned, Bafana likes to play possession-based football, and they get carried away. They push up their defenders too far forward. They push up their fullbacks too high. And then when they concede counter-attacks, the likes of Mokoena, who are supposed to be defensive midfielders, they don't have the recovery pace to chase back and defend against counter-attacks. So that has been a problem. Even Batusi Obas, who is the main defensive shield in front of the two center defenders, Kekana and Dockley, most of the time when they lose the ball in the attacking half, to track back and recover, that recovery pace is not really there, and it's affecting them. And this is one area where I feel they have to, show up, because against Nigeria, I wouldn't expect Nigeria to play a possession kind of. Nigeria is going to play South Africa on the counter attack because we have pacey wingers, we have the likes of,
Lukman,
we have Lukman, we have what's this guy's name, man, that plays on the left? I forgot
Is
his
it
name.
Victor Simon?
Yes, Victor Simon. So
Moses Simon. Moses
So
Simon.
Nigeria is going to look at these loopholes and set up their team to hit South Africa on the counter attack. And their defenders, like I said, have become leggy. Their recovery pace is the problem. And like you said, in the attack, they don't have an out and out center forward.
yeah,
Themba Zwane is like a second striker at best or an attacking midfielder. Although they have
yeah,
this guy that plays for Burnley, Lil Foster, but the guy
yeah,
too is not so prolific. He wastes chances
yeah.
a lot.
I'll
If you
follow me. I'll follow me. Trent Alexander is a better striker than Swanee.
can...
He's a defender.
So these and many more are the issues they have. They want to play like a modern possession-based team. They like to bring the ball out from the back, build up play, but some of their defenders don't have the skill set. And then against a high-pressing team, you tend to lose possession in your own defense, and you
Yeah.
concede stupid goals.
And God forbid they should meet a team, because Nigeria has problems in midfield, which is why Nigeria struggles to break down South Africa's defense. But God forbid they should meet Cote d'Ivoire or Senegal, those bloody teams.
Or
Even Morocco.
Egypt.
Morocco is not an
Exactly.
attacking team.
Egypt.
Morocco is a defensive team, so
It's
South
even
Africa can play as far
Senegal.
with.
That Senegal
Play
team
Senegal.
looks scary.
They're scary. Unbelievable midfielders, unbelievable wingers, and also a world-class striker. So this is what. So we all know that South Africa has the best in Africa, one of the best midfields when it comes to possession and passing and everything. But if they don't shore up their central defense and their fullbacks don't become more disciplined, a team like Senegal will destroy them.
Yeah, sure.
I hope the fans of South Africa don't destroy. We're telling them to. South Africa's still a top team, but we're just looking at the point. They have a very good. Bruce is one of the best coaches in Africa, but they need to work on these issues in defense. And like you said, they need to get themselves a real striker like Benny McCarthy from back in the day. What are your thoughts, Mr. Warif? Yeah.
Okay, like you both, South Africa, they good side, play good football, possession football. Like what is Afolabi said, once a player is going to age, or once a player doesn't have a recovery tendency, when you go for the pressing football, and you have your time unaware. Now, the South Africans, maybe since they believe in their, what's it called, the players, and
He's breaking it. It's not like he's breaking up. He's breaking.
Yeah. Yes,
you're breaking.
A bit, yeah.
Okay. Let me change my position, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, while you're changing it, follow me. Pick up from what he was saying. Yeah.
So basically, what I was trying to say is that this modern trend of making defenders ball playing is affecting the game in the sense that the primary role of a defender is to defend spaces and mark. And so people are getting too cute with the ball. And as such, they lose the ball in dangerous positions. And then they put their team under pressure. So I think first and foremost, like you rightly mentioned, the likes of Benny McCarthy, if you go back to the core of the South African team, in the days of Mark Fish and Lucas Radebe, they were pure defenders. It was safety first. They weren't trying to be cute with the ball.
Because what happens is when you have a pure striker, then you don't need to bring your fullbacks and all these guys up, or you don't need to start using your midfielders to attack too much, which is what South Africa does. Because once you do that, that means it's like borrowing Peter to pay Paul. You make yourself weaker in another position of the field. But when you have a bully, a number 9, then other people can play that position. This is why Argentina was so good. That's what their defense is selling. Argentina doesn't mess up when it comes to defense and CDMs and midfield. And then thank God they have Messi, even though he's not a pure number 9. When you have Messi and you have the other guy, Lautaro, those guys can mess you up. It doesn't matter if they're pure strikers.
They're very aggressive. Very aggressive.
Yeah. All right. So what are you going to say, Mr. We're back with Mr. Warif again. Yeah.
Okay. So what I was, am I okay now?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you're okay. Good.
Continue.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is this, most of their national team players are gotten from their league, that's the South African league. Yeah. So if they don't groom younger players, maybe new players, and they just believe that since our league is good and we have these players, without knowing, you see that these players, they begin to age out. And when you begin to age out, one of the advantages of having players from different countries that you play with different type of players from different leagues. But when you play in South Africa, you only have a particular player that you play week in, week out. Yeah. So if they don't build on this, they don't take time to groom younger players that will take over from these people, it will get to a point, a period whereby South African football might just fizzle out. Why? Because they did not groom players. They just depend on these players that are good. And
they need to send them at a young age. Just like the Bafana, the junior team. What was the name of that guy that they had? The best goalkeeper in the tournament, player of the tournament, and the best defensive player. I forgot his name. The color guy. But they have to get some of these young boys and send them out there. And they need to get a tall. It doesn't matter because we know that they play Shibobo style football, dribbling and dazzling. You need to get some tall white boys. Forget about skill. Tall white boy who can do headers and bully people, sort of like Gyökeres. You get my point. I'm not trying to be racial, but the black guys are quick and everything. Or they get somebody like Benny McCarthy who was tall. He doesn't have to be skilled, or remember that guy I thought I'd be Ravanelli for Italy.
Yeah. Fabrizio
That's
Yeah.
Romano.
they need someone who's big and strong. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be fast, and who you can just put in the center and then use their guys like Zwane and guys who can come from the wing and be quick to cross into him. So that's all I have to say. Any last thoughts, Mr. Falabi? Then we'll go to Mr. Warif once more.
I think South Africa should be a bit more liberal. They depend on home base too much, and
Yeah.
particularly Mamelodi Sundowns. Like Warif said, they need to expose their players to the pace of the game in different leagues so that when they're chasing back, they're more athletic. The conditioning in some other leagues are a bit more rigorous than in South Africa because of the pace of the game.
Yeah.
So I think they
Yeah.
need to get, like you said, Mustafa, too. They need to get the profile of defenders that are like bullies, tall and imposing, and then central strikers too that can hold up the ball that can be just pushed away. So they need to
Yeah.
get the right profile of players, and the only way to do that is to expose their players to play in other leagues in Europe. You don't want to turn the
Yeah.
Bafana to a purely home-based team. It's going to affect them
No.
in international competitions. They need to be
No.
more
Yeah.
liberal, be more open to their players going to foreign leagues.
Yeah, I agree. Very good points. Very good points. So, what are your last thoughts, Mr. Warif?
Okay, I'll still toe the same line with Mr. Folabi. I think they need to do more in getting their players to play in Europe. Even if it might not be in top flight European club side, but let it just be in Europe. So you meet some of these agents, expose themselves to European football, even though they might see themselves as Europeans. But European football is different from African football. So if they don't expose themselves, they'll just be rigid. And once they are rigid, it will be very easy for
Yeah.
other teams to, to mark them out in competitions.
And that's the thing, flexibility. We're not saying get rid of your local league. Your local league develops your style of football, but you have to
Yeah.
have a mix of other people. And Nigeria has the opposite problem. Too many guys in Europe, and we haven't defined ourselves nationally. Brazil
It's
has
the
that same problem.
opposite of South African
Brazil,
league.
yeah, Brazil has moved away from its local league and using some of its big European stars. So that hurt them too. So you have to find a good mix
A
and balance.
balance, yes.
I think the best balance right now we're seeing is in Spain. Man, that's Spain. They have that Barcelona high press style of play, and they've got guys like Cucurella, but they've got guys all over Europe. So, meanwhile, I hear that Rashford is going to Barcelona.
Even Mikel Arteta.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta is somehow using Arsenal as part of their national team. Right now, we have something about three Spanish national players in Arsenal.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
I hear the Rashford. Yeah, I hear the Rashford.
Just like
going to,
yeah, he has joined Barcelona.
Barca.
He has joined Barcelona.
It's a good one. It's a good one for him.
Lukman is going to Inter Milan.
Yeah,
yes, I heard that as well.
He's remaining Victor Osimhen. I just wish him all the best.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that more on the Nigerian show later on this week. But great show, guys. Perfect. We created this show out of thin air. Take us out of Falabi. Yeah.
Okay, another brilliant South African football show. We have been discussing the issues of the Bafana's defense as well as their lack of being clinical in front of goal. And it has been Warifa as well as Mustafa joining me on this show. We'll be back sometime next week. Bye for now.
All right, thanks, guys. Probably tomorrow we'll do African politics, Nigerian politics tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, bye.